So I just wanted to make this video about what I think that the word spiritual means. So the reason this came up is because I was hanging out with my sister the other day, and it came up we were talking about there's some times that I've experienced singing where my vocal range has been extended, where I've been able to hit notes because for some reason or another my that range, it just opens up, and so it is something that I have experienced in the past, eating mushrooms. And so the way that this came about was, it's like, you know, when she has children, and so there were children present, and so, you know, there was a part of me that thought, should I even say the word mushrooms, you know, like in front of children, you know, to talk about something that isn't really like things for children to be talking about, or to hear about, right? To speak about sort of adult things. And so and then I thought about this, you know, and I thought about why the hesitancy. And at the end of the day, I kind of realized that I think that, you know, maybe if you don't understand these things, if you have, because some people have some impressions about what plant medicine is about and stuff like that. So if you have nothing good to share, you know, if you don't have a very good understanding of it, maybe it's best not to mention it in front of children, because if they ask about it and then you're faced with the challenge of explaining it to them, you know, you might and if you can't do that because you simply don't have the understanding, then, you know, maybe you're best off not saying anything. But for myself, I thought about it, and it's like, you know, rather than trying to hide something from children, or to, you know, maybe you could try to candy coat it, you know, gloss it over, you could, you know, or just like, but, you know, or if you have the ability, you could just explain it to them in a way that they can understand. And always comes to mind that phrase that Einstein said is, if you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, then you probably don't understand it yourself. And so I kind of thought, I mean, just in my own time, it was like how I would explain it to a child. And what came to mind was, I would say, you know, the first thing I would say is like, well, what do you think that the word spiritual means? You know, if you had to explain that to a kid, and, you know, they probably wouldn't be able to answer very well. You know, they might come up, you know, how kids say the darndest things, right? But I mean, chances are they're not going to be able to come up with much, right? But so, and then what I would say is, it's like, you know, spiritual is about, it's about connection. You know, it is about your relationship and the connection that you have to yourself, you know, to know yourself and to know what you're a part of, to know what you're participating in, to understand something about the different roles that all of these different you know, elements that make up all that is play, you know, and yourself being one of them. And also, so like, to do with your relationship with the plant kingdom, and then also with the fungal kingdom, which is where these mushrooms reside, and how they are essentially like a tool that can help people to process things and to get in touch with certain things and to have certain types of experiences. I mean, you know, they're not for children in the same way that sharp knives are not for children, or say like power tools or driving automobiles. There's just too much responsibility. There's too many, it's just too much for a child to be working with that type of energy, a powerful energy, when they're too young. That is something that comes with time. And so yeah, you know, just like really understanding, yeah, the connection to everything that is, with the plant kingdom, the fungal kingdom, with the mineral kingdom, like with the, you know, with the you know, your inner world of your feelings, your emotions, knowing the difference between feelings and emotions and how to interpret them, how to work with them, how to process them. I mean, how to, you know, understanding your relationship to the cosmos, like as a person, a human being, but who we are as a species in relation to everything else, and what we've come from, what we've been through, and so our ancestors and where we're going, and then also like our relationship to otherworldly things. So talking like extraterrestrials and other planets, other no, there's only one solar system, because but other planetary systems, other than this one, which with our sun Sol, and on and on and on, and other universes, other dimensions, other densities, you know. So then we're talking other types of energies, beings, like elementals that reside in nature and stuff like that a person can connect with if they walk a path that is sincere and genuine, and they are called to the, you know, to form those types of relationships with extra dimensional kind of entities and things like that. So I mean, yeah, and just like your connection to what is sacred, you know, what is divine, what is holy, you know, what is pure, what is, you know, those types of things, I think all comprise what, you know, some of what it is to be spiritual. And I just found myself going over this kind of stuff, you know, thinking about it, how it's just so profound, you know, this word and what it means and what it can signify, and just how it's like, you know, going back to that conversation, which was basically started from the topic of the sacred mushroom, which is something that I developed a very intimate relationship with over many years in my life. And so, yeah, and it's just like, it's just such a thing, you know, because it's like with kids, you have these opportunities constantly to either embrace exactly what is going on or shy away from it. And it's just like, what an opportunity would be lost if I chose to think that a child wasn't ready to hear that kind of an understanding, to have somebody use words and tell them, be like, hey, you know, there is something called spiritual, and it has to do with these types of things, and it's not bad, you know. And these, yeah, there are things called plant medicines that some people abuse, just like all kinds of things, you know. People abuse, you know, they say guns don't kill people, people kill people, and spoons don't make people overweight, pencils don't misspell words, you know. Like it's about responsibility. You cannot blame, you know, like people. You have to be responsible with the things that you're involved with, you know. Cars don't crash themselves, you know. It comes down to the people who are working with those things and operating them. And yeah, I mean, but yeah, it was just really, I don't know, I thought it was really nice, just this idea that it's because it's something that I see a lot with parents, where they, I suppose, get challenged by the questions that children ask, and then these opportunities are missed to essentially teach, right? So, and to give perspective, right? So that, because without perspective, what do you have? You know, if you have a very limited perspective, a very shallow, a very narrow perspective, then, you know, if you hear about something that doesn't make sense to you, you don't know how to relate to it, you know, you don't know what to say, and you can form some erroneous, you know, some false ideas about things. You can get these images caught up in your head about what something is and what it's all about, when it's just like completely not the case. I mean, there are certain experiences that people have with certain things that, you know, it's not discounting that the fact that some people have certain experiences, but it's just important to keep in mind that there's a lot to everything. Yeah. And that's part of what it is to be spiritual, I think.